Alright, this is for Meng kit. The first thing that I would say right off the bat is that you really want to push your anatomy. Um, so right now, looking at this, the hand is going to be a lot bigger. We would have a longer neck on this. So there's some things that I would do from a standpoint of character generation, and I'm going to just use, let's go green here to kind of show you this. Um, So the first thing is starting to form out the head. I'm looking at the head here like so, and I'm just going to kind of do something like that. And if you're doing this, start breaking down the form of the head. And kind of the ear would then come up here, something like this. And that's going to pop out over here. And then turning in the hairline, so if your hairline comes back like this, then this is going to pop out a little bit differently. So that's the first thing. And then also, get in your required, like your eyes are too far apart. Um, and so adding those concepts in by narrowing the eyes, um, probably making the nose a little bit bigger, and then making the lips a little bit wider are going to help out. And then coming from here, you're adding in a longer neck. The chest is way too high. You're probably looking at, you probably want to define, so here's the neck coming back, and then the shoulder blade comes out. You're going to build out the back a little bit more here, like so, and then you're going to uh, push up this arm. This arm is probably your socket right there because it's still diagonal, but you need to have that sense of how things are going. And then the arm comes out, probably a bulge for the biceps, coming back over like this, and then you want to kind of curve. It doesn't have this bow like this. You're going to have kind of an elbow joint, which is kind of off screen, and then it's going to come up, um, because this is going to kind of condense, and then we're going to make this a little bit bigger. The hand is going to be significantly bigger because it needs to match the face. And then from there, you need to define your series up a little bit more. I would move this arm over a little bit, and make it wider as well. So by doing that, by sitting down and kind of breaking this stuff apart, you're going to get much more. Oops, let's go this way. You're going to get much more of a realistic approach, and I think that's your biggest issue. Is you've got all this stuff going on, but you don't have the proportions down in the right spot, things like that. So let's just grab the lasso tool here and start moving some things. So like here, I would move this over. I'd probably move this over here. This ear here, we're going to move up here, probably transform it and rotate it a little bit and make it something like so. Then this shoulder part here, we would grab this and transform it up over here, and so that basically adds in that. And then we can add in, I'm just going to kind of I'm going to actually just grab this, and we're going to copy it and select transform, and I'm going to rotate it this way, and then I'm going to transform it widthwise so we can extend that up into the arm like so. Let's get that a little bit bigger, and the same thing back here. Let's grab this and transform. Let's merge that layer. Let's transform this, something like that. And let's grab this arm here, and we're going to warp it. So something along the lines of like that. And then we're going to grab this hand, and it's going to be significantly bigger. Not quite that big, but it's going to be significantly bigger, like so. And so that puts everything in a little bit better proportions. And then from there, we can start cleaning up the paint job. What we're going to do is, I'm just going to grab a real big brush here. We're going to make sure we have some pressure sensitivity going on, and just start cleaning up some of this stuff here. So and then with the gloves, you can start adding in some of this light kind of darkness here as a reflection, because that's what's hitting. And then, you can start adding in wrinkles, because no glove is synthetically perfect. Even latex is something that you want to kind of fix. I'm going to trim out this here, and we're going to add in kind of a defined tone of how that glove looks. And then make sure you get the joints in there, the knuckles, things like that. Same thing over here. Let's add in, let's transform some of this stuff. And let's warp that a little bit. All right. And by warping some of this, you're going to put in, let's add some of that shadow here, and a little bit of highlight on this side. And then you want to clean up this stuff, of course, to be a little bit more realistic. In fact, I'm going to grab, oops, grab a little bit more of the nose. And there we go. All right, so with that in kind of the process, you've got these highlights over here. Use those existing highlights to kind of shape out the nose and pull out that aspect. This is going to be, you're going to cast a shadow here from your nose. And so by pulling some of that in, we're going to just kind of fix some of this stuff real quick here. All right, and then use harder shadows. Like if you've got this bright light going on, pull in some of this highlights here. And you can see how that pops out the nose a little bit more. And then we can pop in some of these highlights here. Let's bring the chin down a little bit more. Oops. It's a little bit too far, something like that. And then define, let's grab some of that, define that. And then the problem is the hair sits out too much, so it's kind of plastered against the face. So you want to add in some of that shadow to pop that out. So your dark blues and things like that, that's going to really sell that aspect of how things are popped out a little bit more. I'm just going to kind of fade in this like so. And then getting your lighting situation, I think a little bit better. I'm just going to clean up this. Let's pop that out a little bit more. And then let's add in some of the darks here. Okay, use the hair as more form instead of kind of how you've got it right now. You've got more of it plastered against the skull. And so let's add in some of that hair. And then you can always pull some of this forward here. As it hits the light, we can pull it out like that. All right. And so there's little things that you can do with that aspect. And let's pull back some of this to define a little bit more of like so. And I think personally I would trim down this here. So I would pull this more like so. And just adding in some of these colors here. Like so. And then let's invert this real quick. Let's pop some of that. And then pulling in some of the darks, and you're going to get more reflection of this blue in there. So something like this. So by popping in some of these darks here, you're going to get a much more interesting tonal value. It's a little bit, there we go. And then you probably wouldn't have, so you really want to use photo reference on a lot of this. But those types of things are kind of what you're looking for. And even though this is kind of a really rough and really kind of variant idea here, like so, we can do a lot to change up your concept here. Like that. Alright, and so getting the eyes right, getting that thing, just a lot of anatomy issues that you have going on. You want to really kind of push that with the anatomy. Get a reference, and even if you pose it yourself, you'll find that it's going to look a lot better by doing that. Alright, I hope that helps.